Good morning, everyone. July 16th, Thursday, July 16th. And we do Thursday a little bit early because we jump into our expert series with Jonathan Twomley at 7:30 my time. So we do the daily show usually a little bit early. So let's talk about it. Again, it's Thursday. So we got to talk about the unemployment claims, new claims, and the more important, in my opinion anyway, continuing claims. So new claims actually ticked up. We are 16 weeks in a row over a million new claims. Never thought I would say that. Up slightly from last week. I think that probably, it's a little date, dirty data because I believe the week before included July 4th, which I think included a holiday, right? A work holiday. So a little bit noisy week on week, but still 1.3 million new claims. Not good. Continuing claims is down to 17.33. People are starting to highlight that they're seeing structural damage in the continuing claims, meaning people are staying on longer and longer. This is a trend that's been concerning to me, as is 16 weeks with seven-figure claims. Again, remember, the Great Recession peak was 606 new claims, and we're 16 weeks into this, where 16 weeks have been at least double, that peak. So, frankly, nothing to feel good about. A couple of things. J&J is talking about going late stage human trials for their thing. We had Moderna yesterday. I know nothing about either company in detail, just given the history of what I saw Moderna do. Was it 3 weeks ago or 3 months ago, where they came out and talked about four, and then they stock goosed, and then they issued comment and exec sold. Never felt good about that. I actually called it out on these daily shows. J&J is a different story, right? Been around a long time. Not kind of. I get the feeling that Moderna is selling when they talk to us, where J&J is reporting. And again, don't know anything about either, but that's just how I feel when I read their press releases. One is trying to sell and one is trying to report. Take that for what it is. And if you disagree with me, awesome. Hey, I hope Moderna wins. Whoever's first, right? Let's get this thing behind us. In the J&J article, they did talk about starting a 1,000-person test next. Is it week? Yep, next week. So that's good. Again, we need some good news. I think this is the time to see someone come through. Again, we had the financials reporting, and kind of like I talked about yesterday, if you're a bank like Wells Fargo, i.e., Bank of America, you're going to disappoint. They did, what do they got? They came out and set aside $4 billion in additional loan loss reserves. This is something we're seeing in, this world, right? If you're a bank, what you and I would call a bank, right? Savings, checking, lending. This environment is horrible, right? Low interest rates, it's just not good. But hey, if you have a trading arm like Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs, especially if you have a bond trading desk, this is what made me sick yesterday when we were just riffing together. I don't know any of this. It just looks at the tea leaves and go, how could Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley have record bond trading desks? They've got to be the facilitators of what the Fed is doing. They just have to be. I mean, logic says. How can they have records like that in this great health crisis? They have to be doing something for the Fed. So they're collecting fees. That's our money, right? So that doesn't sit well. But what should we expect? It's been happening for a long time. I don't know if you saw what happened to Twitter. Actually, not Twitter itself, but Twitter users. Some of the most high-profile Twitter users were hacked. Some kind of coordinated attack, and basically, I mean, it was Musk, Biden, Obama. The list went on, and some kind of crypto hack. Basically, send me some crypto and I'll double it or some nonsense. But yeah, it worked. I read a report last night that it had generated over $100,000 in profits for the hacker inside this first 60 minutes. So now the thing is, how did it happen? Is there an inside person, some kind of social engineering? Cybersecurity is important. It's probably a little harder to do in a working from remote where you have these tools and whatnot. Right, there's all these inside tools that I'm sure Twitter users or Twitter employees, Twitter employees have that if they got in the wrong hands would be ungood. So I don't think this is over. I think that was the first salvo. It sounds like they got something. So we're going to see what happens there. Don't click on those links, people. That's how they get you. I don't know if you're seeing this. It's pretty common now. The press, I don't know, what do they call it? I'm drawing a blank. I need more coffee. Saying that Biden has a lead in the election. What I am most interested to figure out is who is going to be his Treasury Secretary if he wins. That's important, right? As investors, you and I. For me, the Treasury Secretary is the most important spot. The president, frankly, has checks and balances, right? There's a House, there's a Senate, there's all these other things put in place. There's a Supreme Court, right? It's one of many checks and balances. I'm sure there are checks and balances for the Treasury. I don't know them. They're certainly not talked about. But man, there are some options I've been hearing about for the Treasury Secretary that shake me to my core. So that's what I'm going to be watching, right? Who does he pick for that? And honestly, I don't know that we'll hear that until after the election if he wins. We may hear it before if people press him. But as investors, that's the spot I'm looking for. There's certainly interest in the top spot, but for me, that's not the most interesting spot. It is the Treasury Secretary. So we talked about B of A. Morgan Stanley reported, and look at that, just like Goldman Sachs, blew away the number. Oh, look at that, just like Goldman Sachs, trading revenue up, bond trading revenue up. Something not sitting right. Something feels fishy. Did see just before we started, home builder sentiment was out. Again, home building taking off. We talked about it a lot. We got Class A apartment, renters buying their first home. We have the rush to the suburbs, kind of the perfect storm for home builders, frankly. It jumped back to 72. Anything over 50 is good, so 72. 72 is interesting for 2 points. First, that was the reading in March, which was pre-crisis, the last report pre-crisis. So we've gone down and come back. You want a V-shaped recovery? Congratulations, you just had it. We went from 72 to 30, 30 back to 72. Definition of a V-shaped recovery. I think home building will continue to be strong. I think home building will be one of those industries that adds jobs and growth. We are seeing inflation, right? They're highlighting lumber costs and all of that as increasing. So again, I think home building is going to be one of the industries that pulls us forward, especially as we rush out of cities. Domino Pizza had record sales. Apparently people ordering lots of pizza. I don't remember the last time I had a Domino's pizza. Shoot, I don't remember the last time I had a pizza. Oh, it's been months, maybe years. I don't know. But yeah, earnings were up 36.5%. Same store sales, impressive, up 16.1%. So again, people are buying pizza, getting it delivered, all of that stuff. Good for them. Retail sales for June popped. Again, this is good news. Up 7.5 on an expectation of 5.2. So people are shopping. It's definitely skewed when you break down that number. Retail, health and fitness, and what they call home goods like Home Depot and Lowe's and things of that nature. So again, the stay at home, right? You can't go to the gym, buy some weights. You got to stay in your house, paint it, right? All those kinds of things. I think we talked about this a week or so ago, but it's pretty clear that Dell is going to be spinning off VMware. I think they own 81% of VMware. They can't do it till September of 21 for tax reasons. They have to own the asset 5 years before they can spin it off tax-free. So, it's kind of early, right? That's 14 months away. But hey, it's certainly taken their stocks higher, so that will be interesting. Saw some news out of the ECB that I thought was interesting, right? Europe, they have their Fed, their Fed-like entity, decided to hold their bond buying program the same and interest rates the same. So they're kind of taking a wait and see attitude, which is net positive, right? They're not reaching for more, so they're letting it tick forward. And Europe does seem to be getting their house in order, so good on them. Norwegian Cruise Line. Oh, I was waiting for this to happen. So this had to happen, folks. I've talked about this for a month. So you get one of these stocks that are loved by day traders. And yesterday was one of those days, right? You got the Moderna news. It was either yesterday or the day before. They all blend together. But the day traders came out and bid it up. So you know what Norwegian did? They said, all right, you guys want this? We're going to issue $250 million worth of common shares, let you buy it, increase our share count. So they hit the bid. This is exactly what United, American, Royal Caribbean, all of these folks should be doing. It's the cheapest debt. It's frankly, there's no cost. It's common shares. If your stock, right, Norwegian, they're not sailing. They got no cruise lines. They're not going anywhere. So I think other cruise lines should take a hint. I think other airlines should take a hint. Stop asking for government bailouts. Wait for the day traders to come out and issue some common stock. That's business. So anyways. And I think it was just this week we talked about Disneyland or Disney World. Let's be clear, not Disneyland. Disney World opening up. Now there's talk about the parks may have to shut down again. So Disney got a downgrade. We don't want to go backwards. So yeah, it's an interesting time. The case counts. More importantly, as was reported out by a subscriber yesterday, a doctor, no doubt, or he actually said he was a doctor, ER doctor. Said it's the positivity rate, I think he called it. Definitely have to watch that. It's not the case counts, right? That's I think that's a scare tactic. But as he correctly said, it's deaths, hospitalizations, and positivity. So thank you for educating me on that. That was much appreciated. Remember, we need 130 thumbs up. We're sitting at 8. I know I recorded this a little early. Thursday is always kind of the off day. As we go early so we can talk to Jonathan in just a few minutes. So remember, we need those thumbs up. Take care.